Hey VC, it's Glenn in South Texas, your beer budget audiophile with a video. I want to talk about some thrift store finds I made this weekend. One really good one, a rare Psych find that we'll talk about here coming up in just a little bit. Also, I found this. I thought this was kind of cool. I know some of y'all are into cassettes. I found this in a box of PVC pipe fittings, and I said, how much for this? And the girl's like, oh, I didn't know, you can just have it. So I took it. Anyway, I do want to talk a little bit about being a beer budget audiophile, which I am, and I always have been. Just Franken stereo is something that I do. It's something I enjoy doing. Now, would I like to have a stereo system that is worth a few $1,000s or maybe $20,000? Sure, I would, man. That would be awesome. But just because you don't have that kind of cash doesn't mean you can't get creative and come up with something cool. And I have. And my latest incarnation of a Franken stereo, if you want to call it that, I want to share with you right now. And I didn't pay much. I would say I've had the turntable for about 12 years, and I love my turntable. But everything else, I got for less than $200. Much less than, maybe more like $120 total into it. But a lot of that is luck. But I wanted to tell you and kind of share this with you and show that if you get creative, and I know some of you are new to this thing we call vinyl, and all that it entails, one of the things should be getting you some good equipment, but that doesn't mean spending a lot of money. Now, I found a set of JBL 4410 studio monitors. These were produced in the late 80s to about 2003. I think mine are probably mid-90s. And the surrounds were gone. And so the people I got them from are like, well, they're blown, but you can have them. And I'm like, are they really blown, or they just need to have them, the surrounds replaced? Well, the surrounds just needed to be replaced. So I got me a set of JBL 4410s. Now, checking online, they go for $500 or more right now, a set like I have. And I got them for free because, hey, they're blown, man. You can just have them. Replace the surrounds, the foam surrounds, man, and they are really some of the best speakers I've ever owned, to be completely honest. The highs and the mids are superb. And if you are going to refoam speakers, and if you get a set of these, you're going to need to refoam them, chances are. Go to Wally World or wherever you like to go shopping that has a craft section, where they sell cloth and things like that. What am I thinking of? A cloth department. And get some Aleene's tacky glue, wherever you buy sewing needles and things like that. Aleene's tacky glue is good because it allows you some time to get those surrounds set. Some of the things that come with, if you order a set of surrounds, they send you some glue with that. A lot of that stuff dries quick, believe me. Just take it from me and my bad experiences in the past. Get you some Aleene's tacky glue. It works great. It gives you a little time to work with it. So, JBL 4410 studio monitors. Those are my speakers. Turntable is a Sony PSX55. It is an automatic direct drive turntable. It's got a Shure V15 Type 3 cartridge, which is vintage, I know, and there's going to be people out there saying, man, why don't you upgrade? Well, I like the way it sounds. It still sounds great. When time comes, I'll probably upgrade to something from Audiophile, maybe a blue, something like that. Right now it works great. I get my diamond styluses, Styli from Kiowa, VN35E, $25 on the mighty eBay. You can't beat that. I replace them regularly. If you go with a Jaico, they're better. But these Kiowa are made in Japan, and I've had really good luck with them. 25 bucks, replace them every few months, you're good to go. My receiver, this is the one I found. I got a whole, it came with a turntable, the receiver, a cassette deck, and I think that was it. Maybe, oh, it came with an SACD player as well. I paid 75 bucks for it. And it is an old school, late 70s realistic STA 2000. 75 watts per channel. It probably could use, you know, to have the caps replaced and all of that. But right now it sounds good. And to kind of compensate for a little bit of that, I've added acoustic HEQ 7009. It's a 10-band graphic EQ. Oh, I know, EQs. A lot of people don't like EQs. You know, and that's the other thing. Make sure you do what sounds best for you. And I got to tell you, I'm really happy with this stereo. I've got it set good. My JBLs, they have great stereo imaging. And I put this album on. You want to talk about a great value for 25 bucks? These are still in stock. I checked. And this is a great album. Part of the Blue Note Classic 80, all analog. This thing will blow your freaking head off, man. I'm telling you. Listen to this at like Black Sabbath volume levels. It is awesome, okay? Art Blakey and the Jazz Messengers, indestructible on Blue Note. They have some in stock. I'm not going to tell you where I saw they, you know, but they're out there. You can still get them. And you should. It'll be the best 25 bucks you've ever spent. And if you're just thinking about getting into jazz, in my opinion, this is a good first album to get to introduce yourself to this wonderful thing we call jazz. All right. What do you do? Let's go to thrift store finds real quick here. I got a few for you. What do you do when you find a mono revolver cover with no record? Well, if you're me, and it's $1, hey man, you buy it. You could do something, you can put it in a frame if you want to, whatever. Also, and I'm always looking for stuff, and I gotta say, this place I go to is really great. I find a lot of records there. It's like thrift stores used to be. They're still like that. And I went in, I hadn't been in like 3 weeks. Okay, I'm never gone that long, but I went 3 weeks. I go in there, and of course, there's 2 giant racks, rolling racks of what were once filled with records, I'm sure, that still had quite a few on them. And I'm like, oh man, I missed the boat. Well, I start digging and found some cool stuff, you know. Beatles and things like Led Zeppelin, those probably long gone if they were ever there. But, you know, people miss stuff. So you never want to, you know, get bummed out. You want to go dig through it, even if, you know, 100 other people have already been there before you. You may find some cool stuff. Now, bluegrass is not everybody's bag. I get that. But when you find a Ralph Stanley album on Rebel, hey, man, you pick it up. You get it. Ralph Stanley and the Clinch Mountain Boys play Request. It's like a greatest hits. Good stuff. Good pickup. Great condition. As I've mentioned before, I dabble in classical. And I picked this one up. It was not my cup of tea. I cleaned it on my record Dr. 5, which I love, and I'll share my my potion that I use one of these days. But I picked this up. Sounds great. Just musically not my thing. On the Mercury Living Presence stereo label. I pick them up anytime I see them, man. Living Presence, Living Stereo. I pick them up. I do. Right here behind Budgie, there's a whole stack of RCA Living Stereos and Mercury Living Presence. I just love them. But, you know, that one kind of it reminded me of like being in a bad movie, kind of a soundtrack. Some people like it, though. All right, the coasters. This one I love picking up. This is a second pressing. Original Atco, and this one's in great condition. I got this for $2. The coasters, and that's on that Atco label right there. Beautiful cover, man. You don't find them. Even a repress. I think this repress came out in like '62, so it's got some years on it, but Really great. And it's got a mark across it on side one where people you get those spindle marks where people didn't have quite enough strength to lift it up over the spindle and put it on. And so they would just like scrape it over it. I don't know, or maybe it could have had alcohol or something to do with it. But anyway, it doesn't mess with the sound. Love the coasters. The coasters, one of the very, very few to mix humor and music and still have it be cool. I just love it. Every song on here is a keeper. If you're not familiar with the Coasters, great early rock and roll. Just one of the best bands from the 50s, in my opinion. Love the Coasters. Also found this for a couple of bucks. This is a later pressing. Ellington Indigo's one of his more sought after albums, and not one of my favorite Ellington albums. A little mellow for me, but I like it. It's good stuff. And this is a later pressing, near mint condition for $2. I'll take it. How about Rick Danko? Rick Danko, member of the band, of course, and this album has got some great players on it, as you can see right there. We got Doug Sahm playing on this one. You've got, he plays on a few of these. Eric Clapton's on here. Garth Hudson from the band, fellow bandmate, along with Robbie Robertson and a few others. So I haven't listened to this one. Looking forward to throwing this one on the platter. Maybe I'll give this one a listen this evening coming up. And by the way, it's a white label promo right there, which very happy to score that. And then finally, here's the Psych bit of a little tidbit that I found. Never seen this album before. Did a little bit of research on it, and of course, listened to the album. This is Dreams and Images by Arthur. This is some folk psych folk for you. And it was produced by Lee Hazelwood on his LHI label, which, come on, Lee Hazelwood Industries. I think I would have come up with a better name. but really an interesting album. And by the way, interesting label. They had some bands on there that were very forgetful, and I've done my research on this. But one of the bands was the International Submarine Band, which was early band of, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank. Oh, Graham Parsons. How could I forget? So anyway, Dreams and Images, Arthur. Now, this is really, it's kind of strange. If you've never heard this album, you can sample it on YouTube. These go for about $80. I think there's some that were listed on eBay for, $170. This is a mono promo here. It's different. It's not bad. It's not good. It just is. Actually, it's not too bad. And I liked side B a little better than I did, or I should say side 2 better than side 1. Song like Living Circa 1920 was kind of interesting. The instrumentation on that is cool. I think the single was Sunshine Soldier, which is, kind of dated, but it's really not, it could very easily drift over into hokey land, and it really doesn't. It's not a bad album, and certainly worth checking out. And Lee Hazelwood believed in it, and I believed in this guy, and he has a great voice, and certainly had some chops as far as his lyrical ability. And I think Lee Hazelwood thought enough of him to kind of just frame the guy. His guitar playing is not that spectacular, but it's a folk album, and the instrumentation that is there frames this guy's work beautifully. It's well done and certainly different, and certainly worth the whole $1 I paid for it. It had a little split up top, so somebody had to slather a giant piece of masking tape across the top. I had to take that off, which I did an alright job. Not my finest work, but again, for $1, hey man, all day long. I'll probably be passing that along at some point. Not really what I'm into, but still pretty cool after some, you know, I don't know how many people had been through there before I got to it, and found it amongst like the Anita Bryant and the you know, the Mantovani album. So pretty cool stuff. All right, I want to thank everybody for tuning in again, and I may have another video coming at you this week. I know Happy Hippie, the vinyl guy, he's doing a Kiss contest, so I may want to get on that. We'll see how the old JOB goes this week. But thanks everybody for tuning in. Appreciate it. They tell me I should say like and subscribe. Give a thumbs up if you like it, or give a thumbs down if you don't. I'm Glenn from South Texas. See y'all.